I am Kamali, taking you through some of the things people are talking about and some of the stuff they're sharing around the world on Newsfeed today. Bushra Khan wore a niqab to her husband's inauguration and the internet was divided. Ugandan politics rocked by the arrest of an opposition politician and musician called Bobi Wine. Madonna's tribute to Aretha Franklin turns into a tribute to Madonna at the VMAs. And animals getting saved off the New York subway. It's Tuesday's Animals Doing Stuff. Now, top of our news feed, Pakistan's new Prime Minister was sworn into office over the weekend. And while Imran Khan made some headline-grabbing pledges about how he'd run the government, a large part of the commentary online was focused on his wife and her choice of clothing.
आज अपनी कौम से आप सबके सामने कहता हूँ, मैं आपको सादा तरीन जिंदगी गुजार के दिखाऊंगा। सिर्फ मुझे जो सिक्योरिटी की वजह से जो मुझे मसले आते हैं, उसकी वजह से मुझे ये गार्ड्स वगैरह रखने पड़ते हैं।
Let's have a look at some of the other things that caught our eye on social media. The Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull has survived a leadership challenge. It came from the Conservative wing of his Conservative Party and was led by Peter Dutton, an immigration hardliner and former minister. Now, Dutton resigned his cabinet job and now goes to the backbenchers, but hasn't ruled out another go at the top job. Now, Aussie politics is notoriously fractious. It's been 11 years since the Prime Minister down under served out their full term, and one of the country's top political journos pointed out that Twitter might have something to do with it. Meanwhile, this has been retweeted thousands of times. A guy called David Alexander called it the race for the ruling party's leadership. Melania Trump spoke about abuse on social media yesterday. The First Lady said social media can be used in positive ways, but can also be destructive and harmful when used incorrectly.
Most children are more aware of the benefits and pitfalls of social media than some adults. But we still need to do all we can to provide them with information and tools for successful and safe online habits.
And on the same day she was saying this, her husband, Donald J. Trump, the President of the United States, was tweeting about the former head of the CIA, John Brennan, whose security clearance he revoked last week. Trump tweeted that Brennan was a political hack and the worst CIA director in history. Well, this is Harrison Ogle making saves as his team lose 11-0. The video went viral after his dad tweeted it out to cheer him up. Now, he got loads of words of encouragement from people, including professional footballers, and he got the offer of some free gloves. It's not a bad save, that. Well, this tweet came in from the England keeper Chris Kirkland, who said, "You'll do great, you'll enjoy yourself and stick at it, and welcome to the goalkeeping union." The arrest of an opposition politician in Uganda brought thousands onto the streets of cities across the country. Bobi Wine is a huge personality in Uganda after a super successful music career. He's now in politics and regularly criticises the 30-year incumbent, President Yoweri Museveni. And now, Bobi Wine is in jail.
Rubber bullets have whipped through crowds, and tear gas has choked protesters across Kampala for days now. The arrest and alleged beating of musician-turned-politician Robert Kyagulanyi, known as Bobi Wine, sparked the clashes between demonstrators and police. But dissatisfaction with the status quo has also contributed to unrest.
We ask all Kampalans and all Ugandans not to engage into these riots because, as we say, they are unlawful, they are unacceptable, they are criminal actions.
But crowds seem determined to stay in the streets until Kyagulanyi's released. He made a name for himself as an outspoken critic of President Yoweri Museveni and was elected to parliament last year. Kyagulanyi is popular with young people. Blogger Rosebell Kagumeyer says they see themselves in this 36-year-old newcomer.
The threat is the fact that the demographic dividend in Uganda is not in favor of Museveni. Young people are not going to vote Museveni whatsoever. He has to use violence if he has to keep in power. And we know he wants to stay in power.
Uganda has the youngest population in the world. More than 3/4 of its people are under the age of 30. They're the ones who've stayed in the streets to demand Kyagulanyi's release. Police have promised to restore peace.
Police and sister security agencies will continue to work together to secure everyone. Close to 45 people have been arrested.
Museveni has been in power for 32 years. His critics accuse the president of repressing the opposition with intimidation, beatings, and detentions. Museveni's government denies this, but Kagumeyer says the president will need a new strategy to deal with the discontent among Uganda's young people.
Well, it's Eid Mubarak to everyone. It's Eid al-Adha for Muslims around the world, and also known as the Feast of Sacrifice. Well, these pictures are from the occupied part of East Jerusalem, where thousands of people have offered prayers at Al-Aqsa Mosque. And while millions around the globe celebrate, Saudi Arabia is being accused of politicizing this year's Hajj. Qatar is under blockade by the Saudis and some other Gulf nations, and Qatari citizens are apparently unable to register to visit the holy places and complete their pilgrimage. It was the Video Music Awards last night, and they gave a belated birthday gift to the Queen of Pop, Madonna, by allowing her to deliver a eulogy for the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, and it didn't go too good.
Welcome to 2018 VMAs! Aretha Louise Franklin changed the course of my life. I left Detroit when I was 18. I don't need sheet music, I said. I know every word. I know this song by heart. I will sing it a cappella. I could see that they did not take me seriously. Probably all wondering why I'm telling you this story. There's a connection, because none of this would have happened, could have happened, without Our Lady of Soul. I'm Madonna.
Yikes. Around the world now for some other stories you need to know this Tuesday.
Me busca la poli, yo echándole más curry, cocinando sushi, dinero fácil.
This is the Spanish rapper Valtonyc. He was due to be sent to prison today for insulting the Spanish king, threatening a politician, and glorifying terrorism in his lyrics. He fled to Belgium a couple of days ago. A Belgian judge has just decided to postpone Valtonic's extradition hearing. This is the moment a Confederate statue was pulled down in North Carolina. Protesters on a campus of the University of North Carolina toppled the Silent Sam Monument, which was put up in 1913 to celebrate the university's alumnus who died in the Civil War. These statues are now seen as a symbol of white supremacy. Several people hiking in a gorge in southern Italy have died in a flash flood. More than 20 other people, including a 10-year-old boy, have been rescued. A member of the Alpine rescue team said it's very unusual for the gorge to flood in summer. Apparently, a storm at the top of the canyon caused the flood, which was at least 2 meters deep. And this is CCTV footage from the bridge collapse in Genoa. It's been released by Italian authorities and dramatically shows the final moments of the structure. 43 people died when it gave way on the 14th of August. Now, the movie Crazy Rich Asians is becoming something of a phenom at the cinema. The book it's based on was wildly successful, and now it's hoped the film will open doors for more all-Asian cinema.
But the audience needs to decide. If they show up on that opening weekend and they show they're buying tickets, that sends a very clear message to the studios that more will be made. Sitting on their desks right now with movies that have not been greenlit, that are ready to. They're watching to see how this weekend goes.
And we leave you today with an Animals Doing Stuff from New York. It features goats and a TV comedian. Now, these two goats disrupted commuters on the New York subway yesterday near the 8th Avenue stop in Brooklyn. Then Jon Stewart turned up. There he is, back in the blue sweater, to help relocate them. The people of the internet call the goats Billy and Willie, and they were eventually taken to an animal sanctuary upstate. It's not been revealed how or why they were trying to ride the rails. And that is your lot from the Newsfeed team. Reach out to us with your questions, comments, complaints and suggestions. I'm at Kamali Melbourne. You'll find us 24/7 on Twitter, YouTube and Facebook. Follow, subscribe and add. See you again tomorrow.